If you've been watching my videos for a while now, you know that I have an interest in e-bikes. I've done a few reviews, tinkered with some e-bike conversion kits, and I rate them. But they're very expensive. A lot of the conversations I get into about e-bikes is the expense. Most of them are thousands and thousands of pounds. Some of them not so much, but you don't usually get a lot for your money at that point. So when Eleglide got in contact with me and asked me if I was interested in mucking about with one of their bikes, and then told me how much it was, I was very intrigued. But before I go into more about the price and the specs and kind of the bike they've sent me, let's go and look at it. Let's unbox it. So here it is. This is the Eleglide M1 Plus. It's a €799 e-bike. At the time making this video, at least that's what it costs. And if you stick around to later on, I actually have a discount code that can get you some money off as well, so bear that in mind for later on. It is a hardtail with 21 speed Shimano gears. It does a 25 km/h like cutoff, or that's its max speed. It's got 27.5 wheels with 2.1 CST tyres, which are pretty cool. CST is Maxxis essentially, just one of their budget ranges, so they're pretty decent tyres. It says it will do up to 100 km range, which is pretty decent. It has 5 levels of pedal assist. It even has a walk mode, which is pretty cool, and a pretty decent sized LCD, which is 1.75 inches, which is a lot bigger than a lot of the ones I've seen, so that's good. Putting it together is super straightforward. Essentially it's handlebars, pedals, wheels and saddle, and that's about it really. You do get some boxes with the bike. One comes with the charger inside, and the other one that I am currently opening like an animal comes with a few of the accessories. Things like the actual pedals, instructions. There's a throttle, which you're not allowed to use in the UK, some reflectors, a bash guard for the derailleur, and then the pedals. The pedals are actually pretty decent, which I was quite surprised by. So the last couple of bits was the wheels, then I put the pedals on, and that was it. I'd say it took me about 25-30 minutes to get it together, which I think is pretty solid for a bike out of the box. But let's go look at it. Whoa, hang on. I forgot one very important little feature I need to add to this bike. They had a silly warning sticker on it. We needed to remove that and add our Second Life Bikes warning fun bike sticker. If you are interested in this sticker, head to saveoldbikes.com and pick up one of these and some other stickers or something else if you really like to. But now let's go and have a look at it. The motor on this bike is 250 watts, which is the UK limit. So this is perfectly legal to ride on the road as long as you don't fit the accelerator or the throttle that comes with the bike. The accessories and the components that are on this bike are pretty decent as well for an entry level. The grips and the seat are perfectly comfortable. The derailleur is pretty budget, but I've seen this on thousands of budget bikes and they kind of hold up, so I'm interested to see how well they hold up. The battery itself takes around about 7 hours to charge, which I think is about right for the size of battery it is. But I'm going to be brutally honest why I chose this bike compared to a lot of the others that are very similar to this. I think it looks cool. I love the paint job, I love the colours, I like the fact that it looks like a reasonably aggressive hardtail. The shock that's on it as well, it's an unbranded by them. It is a hydraulic dampening shock with a lockout on it, and it's fully fitted with disc brakes as well, which are working very well, which is super surprising considering they don't normally when they come out of the box. But I'll say again, this is probably one of the best looking e-bikes I've seen at this price range for a very long time. I really enjoy the look of it, and I've so far enjoyed riding it. But I suppose you want to see what it looks like when I'm riding it as well, don't you? So let's take it for a ride. Since moving house, this has been one of my most favourite places to ride, and the hotter it's getting, the dustier these paths are getting, so it's been pretty nice and chill to ride. I did want to give this bike a bit of a testing though, not just a cruise, so number one was some skids. Yeah. They're really bad skids. I know. I was a little bit hungover this day, and that's all I had in me, and I just want to have a little bit of fun on the bike. And then something really bad happened. Keep watching. So after picking up my camera and feeling pretty sorry for myself, I took it back into the woods for a little bit of a spin. Again, like I mentioned a minute ago, I wasn't feeling my best this day, so I didn't do anything too crazy. I just kind of wanted to feel the actual bike itself and kind of the acceleration, the kind of the power assist, and just trying to work it out a little bit. And I gotta say, I'm crazy impressed with it. It's built solidly. It's built really well. It feels great. All the components on it so far feel really good as well. A lot of times when you get more lower end kind of e-bikes or bikes in general, out of the box something doesn't feel right, but this has been really good so far. I've been riding it quite a bit, and my wife's been riding it to work as well every day, so that's been pretty good. But I know what you're thinking. What happened to all the old bikes, and what on earth are you doing on this e-bike? Well, let me tell you. Save old bikes, which is my motto, isn't just about finding a retro cool bike and bringing it back to life and just looking cool when you're riding bikes, as much as that is a big part of it. It's also about accessibility. Cycling can be very expensive, or not so expensive, depending on how you do it. So Save Old Bikes is partly about that. It's about being able to create something super unique and super exciting, something personal to you at your budget. And I've seen people spend a hell of a lot of money on a retro bike, and it looks just as good as this person who spent not so much. So that's what it is all about. So the reason I keep dabbling in and out of e-bikes as well, especially conversion kits and more low-end bikes like this, is because I want to know more about the accessibility side of this and how accessible can e-mountain biking be. So that's what it's about. As far as this bike goes, I am very impressed. It's made super well. All the components on them, if you know anything about components, are kind of entry-level or budget stuff, which is fine. It's Shimano, so it's at least decent enough to withstand the test of time if you know what you're doing and can find someone to look after it for you. The battery and the actual motor itself, as far as I can understand from the reviews I've looked into it as well, they are very well made batteries and motors, and the frame is just brilliant. Like, everything about it is very good for the price. But my next question is, how much more money could you spend on it to make it awesome when it comes to mountain biking? And don't get me wrong, I'm not now going to spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds on this bike to kind of make it a mountain bike, because it already is. But I'm wondering how cheap or how little I can spend, just a couple of little upgrades, a couple of little tweaks to make this thing outstanding. And I'll get someone else to judge that for me. It won't be my opinion. But as far as this video goes, I'm super impressed. Thank you so much to Eleglide for sending this one out. If you would like to purchase one of these, especially if you're in Europe at the moment, this is the discount code to use, and I believe it gets you 60 euros off of the purchase as well, which is a huge saving. So thank you for Eleglide for sorting that out. There's a link in the description as well to check it out, and if you just want to have a look at the bike and see more about kind of what they have, because there's a few other bikes they do as well. They do some like commuters and kind of town bikes as well, so some cool stuff. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching one of my videos. Let's talk more about accessibility and cycling and kind of like how that kind of gap is being bridged with these kind of like lower end bikes. I know some people are buying these things just to like rip around town, but I know there's people that I've spoke to on my Instagram when I posted about this bike that are thinking about getting them for partners or family members who want to get back into cycling. So I want to hear about that. Let me know in the comments below, and I want to have a conversation with you about that too. But for now, let's move on. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, give it a little like, and if you can't wait until the next video, that one there is a particularly good one.